Nobody wants to look at icons. We're gonna get you a camera soon, Tony.
I
Honestly, I
don't
might
want a
just switch over
camera.
to
I
being
like this anonymity.
Nope.
just do like I want to do and just become an e-girl avatar.
Fine, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm
We
gonna
should
I'm gonna,
definitely.
I'm gonna design and rig my VTuber avatar.
You better.
I mean, I
Alrighty.
agree.
So who did the intro last time?
I believe that was you, sir. I did the outro.
Okay, so somebody else do the intro.
Token, is it your turn?
Pretty sure it's Token's turn.
Hi, we are here. Three Nerds Podcast. I have to know. I don't know what to expect when you put me on the spot for these things. I need like
we
That's
gotta
what you-
we gotta rotate the intros so it keeps things fresh.
That's
I
right.
know. I just didn't realize it was my turn. I don't even know the fucking turn order at this point.
I
So we're
don't
on
think
episode 5.
Yes, we know we're on episode 5. What turn order it is, I don't think we've even established that.
Oh, then
No.
it
We
shouldn't
just-
be me. I should actually be next week.
We
If
just
we're on
passed the
episode
buck.
5 and you two did it before me, that means I was episode 3. More than likely, I should be episode 3, which means I shouldn't be until episode 6.
Okay, fine then. In that case, it's my turn then. Fine. Fuck it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Three Nerds 2.0. It's your boys, as well as always. Me, Ryuji Sama, the resident old Taku. Follow up with the hostess with the mostest, Zord Base Commander. And our co host for the season until we find a better replacement, Token.
Girl.
Don't like it? You do the intro next time.
Turns out I probably will with it being episode 6.
So we don't.
Okay. So last time, I believe we ended it on. The hell did we ended up on?
I
The
have
topic
no
that we
clue.
didn't get to.
Oh yeah, we ended on the topic that we didn't even get the chance to discuss.
Oh yeah. When does my fantasy? What was it? What was
Become
it?
your reality, or yeah, it was your statement.
When
It was
does
Tony's
when does my fantasy need to become your reality? So basically, when I was writing that down, I've been noticing a trend, especially with these modern day takes on fantasy tales and whatnot TV shows, wherein these are fantasy locales, fantasy stories, stuff made completely from a person's imagination. Yet the directors of these new shows feel so compelled to inject modern day things into them, to which I'm screaming, why? It's like, if the situation, if the plan is that you're going to create a space where it's as most detached from reality as possible
Well,
to
putting
tell
reality in
whatever
it, damn
story
it.
that you feel as an escape from reality, why would you implement elements of reality into it? That just limits the imagination, I feel, for number one. Number two, it's no longer an escape. You're just projecting what you feel into a space where you can, I guess, I don't know, process it some way. In which case, don't do that through your storytelling. Go get a therapist.
Or if you do it through your storytelling, do it with your own story, not something somebody else created. You do not need to implement your beliefs onto something that was created in the 20s. Like a lot of the stuff going on with the Rings of Power, which is stupid. It's a lot of, oh, we're going to inject today's sensibilities on something that was written in what, the 1910s, 1920s by Tolkien, literally sitting in a foxhole during World War One. You know, different
mean-
beliefs, different way of life, different things of viewing, and so on and so forth. But let's inject what we believe now, over 100 years later, into something that already has heavy established lore and has a very, very, very dedicated fan base.
And it's not like we have the dude here with us today to like bounce notes off of him. He's been dead for quite a while.
Exactly. That's honestly that's kind of how that. I think that's where that lands though. Is first of all he's dead. The fan base that he wrote it for is potentially also dead.
No, they're not.
That he initially said like the majority of people that were alive when he wrote that shit probably aren't now. There's that. Also, you need to appeal to the audience who actually wants to access this. If you don't, then they're not going to buy into it, and then the whole thing dies.
And that's the problem. They're not appealing to the audience that wants to see it. If they listen to the actual fan conversation, they're not listening to it. They're just doing, well, I want to do it this way, and you're going to like it, or you're racist, or you're homophobic, or whatever. And a lot of people are stating that, okay, so for instance, the Dwarf Queen, okay? First things first, lore-wise. She ain't got a beard, she ain't a dwarf. Plain and simple. Okay? It is clearly stated throughout all the lore that every dwarf has a beard, female and male, okay? They grow them, it's the sign of their pride and everything. All right? Secondly, they could easily cover the black part. That's easy enough. She's a southern dwarf, okay? Cool, she ventured up. Her family ventured up north. That's fine.
Why is it all the black races are from the south? Notice
Because-
fancy.
Because up north in England, it's cold. The sun is not out. The native people were paler than me. Okay, you're
All
not
the-
going to find a black dude from the mountains in Iceland. You know what I'm saying? They just don't
All the
exist.
black people, all the black races are from the south. All the eastern races are from the east, or the land of the reeds.
Because that's where they're from.
I mean, the thing with the dwarves, according to like Tolkien himself, was dwarves at some point were considered an all male race,
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the fantasy lore. Yeah.
and then apparently he didn't discuss female dwarves when listing the characters he imagined with or without beards, simply mentioning that all male dwarves had beards. That's what Tolkien said. This was based off.
Here a link?
I will give you a link. I'll actually. It's TolkienGateway.net, but let's see. Dwarf women.
Dwarf Whammon.
Dwarf women. Why is this in theater mode?
Okay, so in the War of the Jewels, all Dwarvens are described as having beards, including women. In later writings published in The Nature of Middle-earth, Tolkien did not discuss female dwarves when listing the characters he imagined with or without beards, simply mentioning all male dwarves had beards. Okay, that's still not stating that they didn't have a beard, because he says at the beginning, in the War of the Jewels, all dwarves are described as having beards, including women.
And then let's see. Where's the other one I mentioned? Sorry, that was funny, but I just read somebody else's theories. Honestly, it was more than likely that dwarves were written that way so that no one would ever mistake them for children. Which almost makes fucking sense. I mean, whatever. You know what? Boy.
You know what? Sure.
Honestly, now the implications if they didn't, and honestly the implications now that they don't, I don't even want to talk about it.
Well,
But yeah,
But
But I see your
for that logic though, describe halflings, aka hobbits.
they don't have
Hobbits?
beards.
No, they don't. Well,
They
not
got
all
massive
hobbits have
feet.
beards. They got big feet though.
Feet. That's right.
You know what they say about people with big feet?
They take really large steps.
They leave big feet prints.
Yep. They can swim really well too. Get some
Not
really good
Sam.
propulsion. I know, right? I can't swim.
Mr. Frodo.
So there's another thing of projecting your fucking lunacies onto things written in the 20s. People are trying to say that Frodo and Sam are gay because of the way they treat each other and everything. But it's the
I've
relationship
never.
is actually no, it's out there. Trust me.
I
Like
mean, I'm not
literally
saying
a
it's not
quick
out
Google
there, but
search. So
it's.
their
I want to go to
relationship is
DeviantArt.
is heavily based on World War One like commanders, captains, and officers, and their Batmen. Their Batmen did everything for them. They folded their clothes, they filled out their paperwork, took care of the horses, prepared the food, everything, so that way the leader could actually concentrate on leading the troops. And that's
Plus,
what
Sam
that relationship's built on.
and Sam's obligation to help out Frodo was based on a promise that he made to Gandalf,
Exactly.
and the fact that they're childhood friends.
Yep. It's one of those things. Like people really need to just stop and projecting their stuff onto other people's writings.
We understand representation is important. Everybody needs to feel like they're visible, especially within the people that they look up to in all sorts of media. But don't project onto something that's not there.
Yeah.
I
Considering
mean,
I
that's.
saw. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I feel like the Sam and Frodo thing being gay is like strictly a fan thing because even like the Google search literally just like starts flattening. Like it's literally just people just murdering anybody that's ever mentioned this. Apparently,
Yes.
literally, like so. There's barely any evidence of anybody saying that they actually are gay. It's literally everybody arguing that they definitely are not. And I'm like,
Oh, they're not.
so like,
He
so
literally
somebody got
goes
on a
back and gets
fucking
married.
DeviantArt. Well, I'm saying like apparently somebody got on DeviantArt or whatever, one of those fan fiction sites, and just put out there that they thought they were gay, and then apparently it seemed like it just took off with the hate against that sentiment.
Now
It happens a lot.
there was a thesis about it written, and somebody released the thesis about how they were secretly gay and all this stuff, and I'm sitting there going, no, 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 no. Sam
It's
was
a
literally
thesis.
married with Rose, and
I mean, it's
you're projecting yourself onto two characters that
Whoa,
don't
whoa,
need.
whoa. First of all, let's not use the marriage thing because I will always state Elton John had a wife and kids.
Mm-hmm. But no, he was
Yeah.
literally in love with Rose. Was it Rose? Now I feel funny. Hold on.
I'm just saying, I don't think being there's especially
Rosie.
with the
That's what I thought. Yeah, Rosie Cotton.
I think especially even in the black community, that's a non that doesn't really matter. Like and especially within the black community, because that's been a huge thing that's come out over the like last decade or two. There are men who are legitimately in love with their wife, but they still identify as gay. To the extent where their wives actually love their husbands so much they stand by and support this. Like they actually some of them still stay married because they care about each other so much and just do their own thing. But they love each other so much that they allow that to happen. So being in love with your wife doesn't mean that you're not gay.
No, Sam's
Like that's a
not gay.
proven thing at this point. I'm not saying that he
No,
is.
no,
I'm
just saying
that him
it's one of
marrying
those
Rose
things.
is not an argument. Like that's
No,
not
it's not an argument, but it's the end goal that he married Rosie in the end, had children, had a life, and he always took care of Frodo because he's his friend.
And this
Also-
leads to one thing that I'm finding that a lot of folks are having trouble coming to grips with, where we're in a society where we're very rarely allowed to express ourselves in a way that's not bro like.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll be construed as gay.
You're not
Yep.
allowed to show intimacy towards another man without it being considered being homosexual.
Yes.
You're not allowed to compliment on another man's appearance or say, or like, just feel or say, hey, man, I love you. I love you, bro. Without saying it, without the bro part.
So whenever when I was a lot younger, there's going through drive-through, and I now that you brought that up, I've always found it funny because I will tell somebody if I think they, like, hey, you look good, because fuck, man, just throw a compliment out there, make somebody's day better. Anyways, dude goes through with his girlfriend,
Summarize
right?
that shit.
And he had the prettiest blue eyes I've ever seen in my life. Those blue eyes that you just lock onto, and you're like, damn, bro. And I'm like, you have really nice eyes, right? He drives off and he backs up. He's like, are you gay? I'm like, no. Am I not allowed to compliment somebody? And he's like, oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, no
Thanks.
problem.
I mean, it's just like those videos you see on YouTube, like, and well, and TikTok, wherever you watch your videos now. I understand that's a thing. I'm a YouTube person, but like the dude will be working at the gas station. He'll be decide that he wants to give every customer that comes through a pet name that day, just to see how they react. So many dudes freak the fuck out just because he
That's
called them honey
hilarious.
or something like that. And I'm like,
I don't know about that one.
dude, if I was having a shit day and some dude like that back there just like called me sweetheart or something like gay, whatever, like I would probably perk up just a little bit and be like, oh, thanks. Like it was a kind statement.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I don't take all of that as like somebody hitting we aren't friends now, but I would kiss an old friend of mine like in front of people all the time. Like if somebody was like, y'all should kiss each other since y'all love each other so much. Like, all right, yeah, sure. If that proves it for you, whatever. Doesn't mean I wanted to fuck him. Did it all the
And
time.
we shall not talk about our convoluted friendship, Tony. Ever.
No, we can.
No.
We'll just leave that to imagination and these four walls
Speculation
we
and
all sit in.
imagination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've known
We
each other
don't-
since we were 10. Okay, if we get around each other, people instantly think we're a couple.
We will not take this conversation to the rim like y'all have taken your friendship.
Exactly. Wait, which rim?
You know what I said. You heard exactly what I said.
Phrasing.
So, like, okay, so She-Hulk came out. All right, I watched it. I actually watched the episode twice. It was very enjoyable. Did they do a lot of the shit that Hollywood is doing nowadays? Yes. They're like, oh, women are always afraid. Women, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's fine. I knew they were going to go after it. The interaction between her and Bruce was fantastic. Okay? She was all cocky and like, oh, I can control my stuff. This is me controlling it. Blah, blah, blah. And Hulk is like, you don't understand. If you have one bad day, it leads to death and destruction. It leads to things that you can never take back, because as soon as people start seeing you as a monster, that's it. You're always a monster. And he's like, you have to be careful. You have to be prepared. He is trying to help her get her shit together, so that
I
way.
love that monster line.
Yes, it
That
is
is
fantastic.
out of everything he said, that is the most realist part that
yes,
anyone can identify with.
yes.
Once folks see, especially today, if people see you in one moment in your life where you are an absolute monster, that will stick with them forever.
Oh,
They can't look at you the same way ever again.
Absolutely. I've literally, a good example of this. I recently, and we've talked this before, like while I'm not working at the place I used to work at, but the main thing that set everybody off was how I defended myself. Like I ran I ran a certain person into the dirt during that like whole debacle because I was pissed. Like I knew the context. I knew it was going on. I wasn't about to take that shit and sitting down. I had been dealing with it for like months prior to, and then up to that point, like over a year apparently. Fucking stupid. So yeah, I had plenty to fucking say. Like I had plenty to say about that situation, and all everybody cared about was how I handled it and how I spoke about it, and like the words used, like, "Oh, well, you seemed really vile in the way that you spoke about it." You know what? Sometimes somebody needs to just hear the fucking truth. I'm sorry, but it's the fucking truth. I'm not about to sugarcoat shit for anybody at this point. Like, you don't always deserve that, and in that situation, they didn't deserve that by any means because they literally were making attacks on my life at that point, or my livelihood, I should say. So no, I'm not gonna be fucking nice. Like, why the fuck should I be nice? And they were like, well, you're fired. I'm like, all right, well, cool.
Well, anyway, so they go through the whole training thing, and she's all cocky and showing him up like, I'm just better than you. Ha ha ha. And it's like, no, you're not. And finally, they break it down, and they get into a fight. And this entire fight, you can see Bruce is holding back and not just pummeling the crap out of her. Because it's, she's his cousin. Right. And he does the clap, and she figures out how to do it, and she's like, ha 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 ha, mocking him. And finally, he just beats the crap out of her a couple times. Just a couple really good hits to rock her face. And then they stop because they break his bar that him and Tony built.
My bar.
My bar! You're rebuilding it!
The little baby
God.
tantrum.
Yes. And it's great. And it's one of those things that he's trying to tell her that now that you're a Hulk, you have a target painted on your back. And she's like, I'll be fine. Blah, blah, blah. I'll never have to be the Hulk. She's sitting there gloating before she goes out to the court case. And then a supervillain bursts through the wall. And her paralegal's like, do the thing. What? Right now in front of everybody? Yeah, do the thing. She's like, I really like this outfit. She hulks out, knocks the person down, transforms back into Jennifer, and then, it's like, now I'm ready for my closing statement. But right then and there is that moment where everything Bruce had said to her came absolutely true. And she was too stubborn to listen to him. The person who has literally been the Hulk for 15 years, who has dealt with it. All of it.
Yeah. And I
And
think that's a fair thing for the Hulk to have to deal with. Like a Hulk to have to deal
Wasn't
with.
he Hulk for like 20 years because there was like a time skip when he went to Sakaar?
I don't know. He was 2 years he was on Sakaar.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, there was 2 years he was on Sakaar because he was trapped as the other guy for 2 years.
Right.
So, but it was a good episode. A little bit of the whole man-hating bit was in there, but not completely unwarranted.
Yeah,
And then- Good.
No, you're on target. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then, well, I'm actually done. I'm going to go loop back to our original, one of our original subjects here in a second. If there's anything you want to add in there.
I mean, with the I guess like I think the initial point was like the women, like women thing there. Which of course I have the picture for this, but we're gonna move on.
Well, no.
think-
Then
Women
hold on,
sure be
because
women, don't they?
This gets even worse because as soon as I flip on Yahoo, I see an article about were Tony and Bruce in a gay relationship. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my. Oh,
Why is it everybody assumes a
Dudes just-
bromance is like that?
Why can't men just hang out and just like enjoy each other's company and it not be a homoerotic thing?
Because everybody
Did you
wants it
read
to
the? Wait, did you read the article?
be. I got about a quarter of the way through it, and I'm like, I can't do this.
Because I feel like a lot of those are just clickbait to get you in there.
Oh,
'cause
they're
eventually it'll
absolutely
come back-
clickbait.
I'll tell you, that's probably what a lot of that is. Like, I mean,
Just
it's
like-
going to grab attention and make you read it. That's what
The
and that's the point.
Mission
Honestly,
accomplished.
that is the point. They want you to pay attention to what's going on, and that's what's going to make you do it.
Yep.
He fell for the clickbait.
Oh, and I know I did. And as soon as I started reading, I'm like, I have no interest in this article. The title itself just needs to be ashamed of itself.
They got the click though.
Yeah, they
Got
got
the
the click. They got the click.
Just like
Yeah,
Disney's
so-
going to get the views. Disney's going to get the views. Amazon Lord of the Rings is going to get the views. That's why they do it. I mean, that's the long
Amazon's
and
not
short
going to
of
get
it.
the views. I can tell you that right now. That show's going to crash and burn.
Well,
No.
they'll get the review views.
Because I can tell
But-
you this: the real actual Tolkien fans, not these Twitter weirdos, are probably not going to watch it. Or if they
Yeah,
do,
but
they'll
the-
watch an episode or two and then move on.
Yeah, but that means you don't have to be a Tolkien fan to actually watch that show. I'm
You
not.
don't.
Like, for instance, I'm absolutely not, and I plan
You
on watching
don't.
it because I'm interested in like the modern, like a modern day or a modern telling of Lord of the Rings, or a Lord of the Rings story that is being presented today. Like, for me, that's interesting to me, so I'm going to watch it. 100% planning on watching it. I'm probably going to watch Game of Thrones, and I don't know. Actually, I heard the first episode's pretty good.
I probably won't even touch the House of Dragons. I'm so over the Game of Thrones stuff.
I heard it.
Just
I
in
heard the first
general.
episode's pretty
Well,
good.
George,
fair.
George R. R. Martin's back on it though, as a part of the writing team.
It's
So
good.
it might be a bit more on course for what people are expecting,
But yeah.
aka competent writing,
Yeah.
not surprises from left field.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know who should be king of the North? This one kid who's crippled and has psychic powers.
Yep.
Not the
I-
one who literally led an army to fight a bunch of undead soldiers that
I,
we've
on the
been
other hand,
teasing
am
at for 7 seasons on a row.
right. I, on the other hand, am not ready to watch fanfic based off of Tolkien's writings. I'll pass. I might give it an
Yeah.
episode or two. If I
To
wa-
that
if
extent, though, let's
yes,
how would you like? So I think we were running into a situation where we ran into Star Wars, where we're trying to go back and we're trying to do things with a more modern take from an earlier point in the history, which is a little bit weird because when you go backwards, things are not supposed to necessarily be viewed a certain way. Like when they did the first 3 Star Wars movies, um Phantom Menace and all that stuff. Um Aside from things looking a little bit too clean, a little too neat for something that takes place in the past.
well, it was also during
Um
the right around the fall of the Empire, so it was not Empire, the Republic. So it was still not as messed up as the Empire was yet.
True, but it felt like things felt like how should I put it? Um like I know it's mostly just the CG talking and whatnot, but stuff looked better and felt more cleaner and put together than the original trilogy.
Most of that was the CGI.
Yeah, I get it.
Considering the
That's
original trilogy had very little computer tweaking or anything like that, it was all models and
Yeah.
miniatures and stuff
I'm
like that, which is still
well, I'm
beautiful today.
probably yeah. The miniatures will always look great.
Yep.
I'm probably deviating from what point I'm trying to make, but basically what I do want to say is we may have an issue with stuff where people go back into the past to try to retell prequel events and try to build on something that while they weren't the original writing team, they feel that they can probably piece together a story to fill in those events. Whereas compare that to say something like how we've got The Mandalorian, where you can drag and drop this anywhere in the timeline after a certain point and still be able to tell a cohesive story without having to feel like you've messed up the lore or not messed up with, but mucked up the lore a bit.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah. I mean, oh yeah.
That's what I feel like this story should have been. Not something that built up on something from the past because to be 100% honest, most of us aren't really that truly interested in the past if unless we've read the books. Unless you're like a fan of the literature. I feel that most people are not that truly interested in the events that led up to the Lord of the Rings
Well, that was the Hobbit.
or the
So
Hobbit. Well, we got the
yeah.
Hobbit too. We got the Hobbit in video form.
Yep.
Um,
Which was really bad.
but
But
if
enjoyable
they were
bad.
able to like create, if they were able to craft something from a side story to put into the that they can insert into the lore without changing too much of what's already been established, I feel that's probably what would have worked better. Then again, we're only 1 episode in, and it's not even out yet, to my knowledge. So,
Today?
is it out today?
Wait, we're talking about Game of Thrones here, or the other one?
Well, I guess I'm kind of doing both.
I think
Yeah,
Game of
so
Thrones is today.
Yeah,
I think
this is
that's
more of
today.
this is kind of like a blanket statement for both of them.
Okay.
Where you'd have more, I feel you have more success on creating something from a vaguely established point in the timeline rather than trying to create a new bookend, basically.
yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I agree. I agree.
No. But I mean, back to the initial point of the topic here, well, the initial topic itself. I don't think there's anything wrong with putting modern day ideals into already established things, because there's also the fact that a lot of the things that were written back then may have included that stuff if it was more widely accepted. Homosexuality and things like that just weren't accepted in that far back. Like, if he had to put that in his books back then, people probably would have just vilified it immediately. Like, there's a strong possibility that Lord of the Rings wouldn't be what it is today if he had have included that, because it wouldn't have been, a lot of people just wouldn't have read it, or it would have been banned in some places. Like, it legit would have just been straight out banned in some places.
Are there any canon gay relationships in the Lord of the Rings?
I mean, I'm not saying that there
They don't
are.
really talk about it. I mean, really, the only relationships they talk about in the Lord of the Rings is Aragorn and oh shit, I can't remember her name. The
Arwen?
female elf, Arwen. Thank you. I think they cover like they briefly talk about Faramir and the hey Kira, who does Faramir marry? Yeah, Faramir marries Eowyn, and really that's about it. They don't really talk about relationships that much. I mean, there's
No,
the ultimate
it's
bromance of Gimli and Legolas, but that's a bromance.
that's a full on brothers in arms relationship.
it's
Putting modern day sensibilities in older IP. Oh, awesome.
I mean, it's almost like, from my perspective, it'd be like interracial marriage. If there's legitimately works that talked about interracial marriage that just were destroyed, like they had no chance because they talked about these things.
Mm.
That's the reason why books like To Kill a Mockingbird are so popular and
Like
so important these
30
days, is
minutes or
because
so.
they actually went against the norm. And To Kill a Mockingbird used to be
An
banned.
hour. Yeah,
Used to be, sir.
it used to be.
Oh,
They're trying to
Check
ban
the
it
internet
again
lately.
yeah, they're trying to reban it now, which is incredible to me. But
because it makes people uncomfortable. That's the point.
That's right. Because it
they're
makes
also.
uncomfortable people uncomfortable.
I was actually listening to something yesterday going on in Texas, where they're essentially like removing all mentions of like women and African Americans from some, like the Senate themselves are trying to pass a bill and remove all mentions of women and African Americans from it. I'd have to go back and find it, but it's insane. Like, it's insane. Like, that is a
Is
thing that they are
going
doing.
on in Texas.
Oh, it's bad. I didn't know that they were like, apparently they're literally shipping people from Texas to New York for like sanctuary. Like,
Yeah,
immigrants are
Texas
being
is
shipped.
losing its fucking mind.
I
No,
mean, but
they're not just being shipped to New York. They're being shipped to Washington D.C.
yeah, New York and Washington D.C. Yeah.
Not Ron DeSantis. Whoever the fuck is in charge of Texas. This
Mm,
political stunt of his is backfiring horribly,
hmm
especially considering the fact that there are a lot more pressing issues that they need to take care of, like their power grid.
They're
yeah,
more
like,
worried about controlling people than actually taking care of their people.
Mm.
yep. And I
So,
think, like I said, I think that's part of why I think it should be okay to allow those kind of allow that kind of representation in fictional works. I understand that it wasn't a thing before, but I think there was a reason why it wasn't. Like, it's a
see, here's
very
the thing that I'm sorry to cut you off, but here's the thing, man. If you want something like that in your own fictional stuff, write it, but don't set it in somebody else's work without like, their
I'm saying,
express permission.
it doesn't change what I'm saying though. Like, the point is that it didn't matter. Like, even if he wanted that there's a strong chance that he couldn't have done it. Like, he may not have been able to do it because otherwise his book may not have even been like his books may not have even been
I wasn't
published.
I wasn't disagreeing with that particular statement. What I was saying though is nowadays, if you want a fantasy setting with your set of beliefs in it, write the damn thing. Don't take somebody else's work and change it to suit your needs. That's lazy writing.
Well, did he write Rings of or the content they're using for Rings of Power? Did he write that already?
No, it's all
He
based off of
it's
notes
all
that he wrote.
allusions and notes that he wrote in, when creating the world of the Middle Earth and such.
I mean, I guess at that point they wrote it themselves.
Yep. It's all like leftover notes and rough drafts that he had written throughout the years that he never finished.
The man
Yeah.
wrote paragraphs on paragraphs on like trees that you could find in certain
You
spots.
can. It's also slightly based off, sort of based off the Silmarillion, which is basically the history of Middle Earth.
Like, I feel like if there's that little context, you're going to have to fill it in anyway. I don't think there's anything wrong with putting in whatever you want to at that point. Like, if there was like an established book that he had already done for Rings of Power ahead of time, sure, I guess there would be a little bit more of an argument there. But you're going to have to make this up anyway. Like, you had to make it up. You absolutely had to. So unless you're him, you're not going to think about it the exact same way that he did.
Mm.
Like, I can't write Zord, if you wrote a book and then you passed and I wanted to expand on your work, I still have to take my interpretation of your work and go with that. Like, it's still coming from my interpretation of your work. Unless I've got you as a Force ghost standing over my shoulder, not happening. As much as I would love for you to be able to do that, please God, don't. As much as I would love for you to be able to do that.
I will haunt you.
There's a higher chance of Zord turning into a Casper ghost than a Force ghost.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's a fair point.
But I mean, yeah, you got to fill it in some way, dude.
Yeah, but filling it in with today's modern day senses just doesn't. It doesn't flow well because then it breaks the whole fiction of it. It's supposed to be an escape. Yes, it's supposed to be an escape. Because if you bring in today's problems into it. Good.
Sorry. I'm just going to inject this. In Dungeons and Dragons, races, when they describe races, they're not describing color of people's skin. They're describing literal races. Giants, dwarves, humans, the elves, the halflings, the dragonkin, the dark elves, all sorts of manner of creatures that live on this earth. Whatever color they are is an afterthought.
Yeah. Which is fine. But I mean, we don't live in a society where that's ever going to be a thing. At least
Probably
not. And it's a good thing that it isn't, if we're being realistic, because otherwise, I mean, we're already looking at the state of things where people don't want color to be talked about and how big of a problem it's becoming, to the extent where, you know, that one word, ends in supremacy, is becoming a huge thing again. And it's kind of scary, like, to try to like take that out of writings and stuff like that kind of adds to that thought. Not saying it's your purpose and that's what you're going for when you do that, but it adds to that type of ideal. Same reason why it's so important for like Black heroes to appear in comics and things like that more often than they do, or than they did before. And I wouldn't even say more often, for it to be presented more up front, for it to be more prevalent. Why that's so important, because it not only does it bring in a different audience of people, like it literally brings in your Black community to want to watch and, you know, take part in your work, your writings, your TV shows, your movies, whatever. But it also gives that kind of inspiration to those types of people and brings more writers into that lane. Like, you get more Black writers because you see Black people see Black writers do things, or see Black characters.
Well,
I went all over the place with that, but I think y'all get the point.
No, I get what you're saying, but let me add on top of that, because I think Zord was I see his gears spinning.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with representation in media. Especially when it comes to heroes of color, basically.
Yeah.
The thing when it becomes a bit more of a gray area and a bit of an issue is when we start having heroes of color that are basically just the palette swap replacement of the already established heroes. In which case, you get the arguments of, well, if you don't like it, why don't you write your own? In which case, sure, okay, fine, I'll write my own heroes. So, Miles
But-
Morales, mm,
Miles is one of the few
Uh,
exceptions of a character that is more or less a palette swap, because they did change his powers up,
yeah,
and they gave him a different background. Like, Peter Parker was still there when Miles became Spider-Man, you know?
Yep.
And
yeah,
then Peter dies. Okay, they didn't just say, "Oh, well, this is a black Peter Parker," or "This is, a Latino, what is it, Petro Parker or whatever." I get a terrible name. Pedro
well, she was
Parker. There we
Asian.
go.
Pedro
And-
Parker?
Pedro Parker. There we go.
That
Pedro
was a
Parker.
thing?
No, but they could easily do that. And even then, Penny Parker was literally a manga version,
Yeah.
and she wasn't Spider-Man. She was a Spider-Man inside of a mech.
Yep.
Yep. She was never bitten. She didn't have any powers outside of the mech.
Which is
Awesome
weird
joke,
considering
gotcha.
how she still has the
She has a spider sense. She does.
Although Marvel's a terrible. Well, if we go by what everybody, and I say the only reason I say this is because we just came off of No Way Home. That one's going to be a little bit harder, because at that point we can almost guarantee that out there somewhere within the MCU's interpretation of the Marvel universe, there is indeed a Black Peter Parker. There's no way that there.
Oh, it's already out there. Like the speculation after we saw what's her name in Doctor Strange, the
Multiverse, yeah.
Radness, with the whatever the black girl who was the basically Black Miss Marvel,
Oh,
Yeah.
Black Captain Marvel.
Rambo.
Yeah.
Rambo.
So
There's
did you get
that's already that door has already been opened basically.
Yeah, but the dumb thing about that was that Rambo like in Marvel Comics, Rambo does become Captain Marvel, like
Not
at
that
some
one.
point. Her daughter
Her daughter.
does.
Yes.
And
Which is
her
what they're
daughter,
setting that up towards.
Monica Rambeau, does not have the same powers as Carol Danvers. Completely different power set. And that's the thing. She became Captain Marvel not because of Carol Danvers. She became Captain Marvel because she just chose that name, not realizing Carol Danvers was Miss Marvel at that point in time.
Yeah. Although the fact that happened in that doesn't seem so far fetched, because from what we saw of Captain Marvel, there are points where those two characters could have easily been reversed. Like, it could have easily been Rambo put into that situation and ended up joining the Nova Corps. Like, that actually does make a little bit of sense. Luckily
Join
that
the
makes
Nova Corps.
No, Rambo didn't. Danvers did.
No, that wasn't the Nova Corps.
And Captain Marvel?
Yeah, that wasn't the Nova Corps. The Nova Corps was in Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy. He was part of the Kree Empire.
Oh, that's right. Who were they?
The Kree.
Oh, they were just called the Kree. I've only watched Captain
Yeah.
Marvel once. I'm okay. Cool.
Nova Corps is completely different. And there is, like I said, they can handle Nova easily enough. You get John C. Reilly to reprise his role as that security guard, and he shows up with the power of the Nova Corps and meets up with the guy who becomes Nova and dies and transfers his power during the final fight. That would be amazing to see John C. Reilly as as Nova. I would die laughing. It would be
Kree
awesome.
Army then. My bad.
Army.
I got the. Yeah. I meant I ruined the name, but yeah, like it does make sense for her to be able to have just been put into that position over Carol Danvers, because
anything could happen. Like, the wind blew a different direction that day.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Yep.
That one makes sense.
All right, so let me propose another one then. Superman.
Oh yeah, Brock. Yeah, they did do the black Superman, which is literally their interpretation of Barack Obama as Superman.
His
mean, I'll
name is
admit it.
Val Zod, and he's
No, it's not
from
Valzad.
no. Well, they did do a cover with where Barack Obama did the Superman pose or whatever, but that was like a one shot comic, I think.
His name
I
is
think so.
Calvin Ellis, and he is the Superman for Earth 23. He became president of the United States. Actually, he's president of the world eventually, and he is a Kal-El. He's just a different
He's
version.
Calvin Ellen. What was that name again?
Calvin
Ellis?
Ellis.
Calvin Ellis.
Yes, Calvin Ellis.
That actually is that is a black name.
That
is
is
a very
Calvin.
black
Calvin,
name.
yes, is very black.
Ellis.
name.
Actually, I know plenty of black people with the last name Ellis.
The only Ellis I know was in Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, right. Not now, Elvis. Ellis.
One
Anyways,
time, me and my buddy Keith.
yeah. So, you know,
So what about
sometimes I
Val
like-
Zod then? And this
Let's
new
see.
Black Superman, which there's
He's
another
not-
one. Cool.
He's not actually a black Superman. Well, he is a black Superman on Earth too.
Yes.
He is
Black
the second
Kryptonian.
person. Val Zod is the second person to take the mantle of Superman on Earth too. Let's see. He Kryptonian court, and he later befriended fellow orphan Kar-Zor-El. He was later amongst the orphan description by Dora and Laura during the travel to Earth. Val Zod learned about his parents' knowledge. I think he took Superman's place after Earth 2 Superman died or something like that.
Okay.
Because he did not replace Clark Kent. He just took up the mantle. Because if they stick to like the original Earth 2, that Superman, that Clark Kent, is like 90 years old.
It's true.
But we're doing the thing is that we're doing this again though. This happened in the 90s with Steel, with John Henry Irons.
Yeah, but I
After-
like John Henry
during-
Irons.
Well, everybody likes John Henry Irons, even though he barely shows up in modern
That's true. He
media.
should show up more often.
Which is weird. I think about that all the time.
Shaq needs to do Steel again.
needs
We
to
need
do
another
Steel
Steel
again.
movie.
We need to do a Steel movie. Well,
I don't care how goofy as fuck it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Let's see a Steel with a proper budget.
Hell yeah.
I don't think Shaq can do it anymore.
You can do the voice.
Like, have you? I don't know. Have you listened to Shaq talk lately? It's gotten way slower. He
Yeah.
talks way slower than he used to.
Shaq talks like this, dog.
That's right.
You got to get deeper. You got to get way deeper than that.
There's nobody that can get that deep.
one episode of Hot Ones.
I would love to do an episode of Hot Ones.
Oh god.
Oh,
So,
the
yeah,
Shaq
like,
face.
listen,
Ugh.
I am all about having black superheroes. But I don't want a rehash of a superhero I know because they're trying to build it off the legacy of that somebody else created. You want
Right.
I want a new superhero. Black Lightning was fantastic. Okay? I love Black Lightning. I've read damn near all of the stories for him.
And to a lesser degree, Static Shock.
Yeah, Static Shock was fantastic.
The cartoon was baller.
Yes.
Well, I think
cartoon was amazing.
and this isn't exactly what's happening now, but I think the problem with that is it kind of is what's happening now. You've got like Static Shock, the movie is probably not happening now, but yet the Superman is still happening. So
I thought that got canceled.
Superman?
Yeah,
Did
the
Superman get
black
canceled?
the black
New
Superman. Yeah, that got canceled.
Oh, are you talking about with the Black Superman project with what's his name?
Yeah, that racist dude. Not Michael B. Jordan's one.
Yeah.
Somebody else. I don't know what's going on.
I know
with
they
that one.
approached Michael B. Jordan for it.
I think he was working on a Val Zod movie.
Yeah.
Oh, J.J. Abrams and okay. Don't see anything about it being canceled yet. Hold on. Michael B. Jordan was developing his own.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I
Canceled.
haven't heard him really talk about it much though, beyond the occasional article where they announced he was talking about making something.
See, Michael B. Jordan's film found writers at some point. IGN reported last year in October. April of this year, somebody popped a video. I don't trust this source. Actually, let me move on from that. Somebody claimed that the Black Superman movie was apparently becoming a Henry Cavill Superman movie, but I'm not
Please
sure on that one.
do.
I mean,
Seriously,
I'm not upset with them bringing Henry Cavill back, like, whatsoever. Honestly, like, that's okay. Like,
I'm
that's
fine with
okay,
that too.
But I mean, the idea is that if you have a black, and it's honestly, I'm not saying it's a good idea, because I think at the end of the day, people are still going to treat it the same way with this ideal that I'm going to throw out. But if you have a superhero that's black, that's non-established already, a lot of people are probably going to glaze over it based on the fact that he's black. And it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. But if you take an established superhero that is predominantly white and then you make them black, you'll get more eyes on it. You're guaranteed to get more eyes on it.
You'll get more
because of
negative
what you're
press
doing.
on
Sure,
it,
you'll
and it
get
won't
more eyes,
succeed.
but you'll also get an incredible amount of backlash from both sides.
All
And see,
publicity is
Their
good
favorite
publicity.
hero, and then from the other people who are like, we don't want a hero who's just a power up of such and such. Just make us a new hero.
I mean,
you
you're
know
not.
how they introduced characters in like the 50s and 60s and 70s and all that. Do you know how they introduced a new character? They took an established character and then they put him in the comic book. You know when Wolverine first appeared?
Wolverine first appeared in Hulk, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wolverine's first appearance was in, let's look it up. Wolverine's first appearance was in Incredible Hulk number 181. Okay, so if you want to establish a new character, you have them team up or fight an established character.
I
That's
mean,
how
yeah,
we
have
got
them work
Black
together.
Panther, isn't it?
I think that's
how
all
the
comic.
Black Panther.
But I think that's how they all work now. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't be. I'm pretty sure that's how all these characters work.
Yes, but that's the thing. Everybody's like, well, this will never work because it won't get eyes on it. That's why you use the established characters to help prop up the new character. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it's been for comics forever at this point.
And it's
I mean, it's how they do it in this media too. Isn't that what they're doing with Echo? I haven't finished Hawkeye, but if I remember correctly, Hawkeye or Echo shows up either at the end of Hawkeye or she's showing up at the end of something else.
She's all throughout Hawkeye.
Is Echo Yelena? Is that who that is? Who is Echo? Let's see. Oh, that's not her.
Maya
Native
Lopez.
American. No, Alqua Cox.
Maya Lopez is a deaf athlete and martial artist.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the character's name. I was asking, like, who's actually playing her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The actors.
Yeah.
Portrayed by Alka Cox.
Yep. She's Native American.
Okay.
But
Cool.
yeah, okay. Cool.
So we have a Native American playing a Latina role?
Because she looks ethnically different than white. I don't know.
I mean, it happens. Look, you don't have to be. Your nationality doesn't dictate your guaranteed appearance at the end of the day. My older sister is black and German, and let me tell you, she looks like she's mainly white and Asian. So
that's quite the genetic lottery.
Yeah, right. That's my point. Like, but yet, she identifies as a black person, like 100%. But no one, like most people who look at her and like would not guess that immediately if they just saw her.
Huh.
Nah, I'm not gonna do it. Never mind.
I
was gonna say post a picture if you have one, but nah, never mind.
I won't do it here, but
that's another thing I
that's
see.
good. That's good.
That's another thing I've seen lately is that they have so Failboy Bebop on Netflix.
Ooh.
They took literally a character that should have been Asian, Faye Valentine. Was born in Singapore. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody from Singapore, but they're not Latino.
They're quite Asian as fuck.
They are quite Asian. Okay, and casted a Latina actress for that role. Okay, Then they took the character that honestly, Spike could have been either. He could have been Asian or white or a mix, straight up. With the name Spike Spiegel, that's screaming white. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that. It screams white.
Specifically European.
Yes, that's
European.
specifically European. Okay, I know he was based off of a famous Japanese actor, but that name screams like, my parents were from the general Germanic area,
That name screams, I'm rocking a Jufro with this suit.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he did have a green one.
and then the casting of Marshala Ali, I like Marshala Ali. Is it Marshala Ali? No, that doesn't seem right.
No, I don't think so. Let's see.
I'm gonna ask Google to pronounce this. Oh, that's not. What the fuck?
Oh, Mustafa Shakar. Yeah, okay. Mustafa Shakar, right? He at least played the role right. He could have passed off as Asian. No, he couldn't have. Jet is white.
I'm still not sure how I feel about the fact that they named a character whose name is Black and made him a black man to play.
That is a continuing issue. That is a continuing issue in today's media. If they have the name Black, they cast a black actor. It's like in Supergirl. Fucking what's his face? Somebody black. Supergirl.
While you looked it up, I will argue that the reason why that happened was mainly his English dub. I think the English dub had a lot to do with him being cast as a black man.
Manchester Black. Okay.
Jet's English voice actor he had a deep ass voice, sure. Not deeper than the voice actor for Spike. God, why is his name?
Steve Blum.
Steve Blum, thank you.
Yep. So that is.
He did not speak with and I'm going to use the phrase lightly, Negro accent.
Excuse me, sir. The cultural appropriation term would be a black scent.
A black scent.
Because people have been accusing Aquafina, whoever the fuck that drink is, of using a black scent, and I'm sitting here going,
"Y'all never been in the streets,
fucking white people." And that's the sad part. It's not actually white people accusing of other people of using black scents. It's other black people.
Well, that's how I would expect that to be the case.
Yeah, usually it's white people, though. Let's be honest, it's usually white people starting to stink. You can't say that. I'm offended for them. Okay, whatever.
Anyway, it's not a white person's argument. So you're right. It's not them.
It's not them. So Billingsley is the voice of Jet. Yep.
Okay. Was the voice of... So Black Man did voice Jet. Okay.
He did. So here's the problem with a lot of media today. Is if the character has the name Black in it, they seem to cast black characters. Like Manchester Black is very much a British white guy, and in Supergirl they cast a black guy because his name is Black. The only person they didn't cast a black dude in was Deadpool with Tom Black.
That's right.
The guy's like, oh god,
that was the joke.
That was the joke.
You killed Tom Black. You racist son of a bitch.
Oh boy.
But
he's not even black. Oh god, I love that movie so much.
But it is a continuous thing though that's happening. Now I don't really care in the long run, but I'm sitting here going, at this point, really, guys? Are we hitting this nail a little too hard on the head?
You're talking about a CW show though. That's different.
I know.
Okay. What about think back in the 90s, Men in Black.
Right?
That every time that they went undercover and Tommy Lee Jones would refer to themselves as Agent White and Agent Black. And Will Smith would give him that look.
What's funny? But we also have to look at we're talking about a movie that came out around the same, like from the same era as Rush Hour, which also used the same types of jokes. Like
And
we
they're still funny.
Oh yeah, but see, I actually had this debate with somebody not too long ago about because they basically like talk, or people were talking shit about Rush Hour being racist, this, that, and the other. I was like, no. Well, to an extent, yes, it was, but that was the fucking point. The entire point of that movie is cultural acceptance, and that's the whole goddamn journey that these two people go on together throughout the course of that whole movie. Like,
Yes.
Chris Tucker's character is incredibly racist at the beginning, like the first half of this movie. But as it goes on, he becomes more accepting and even gets to the point where he's like, I want to go to your fucking, like, where you come from. Like, I would like to spend time and learn more about your people. Like, that's how that is supposed to be presented. And I fucking love it. Like, I
To the
think that's
point
one of
where
the
he starts using botched up Mandarin, which is awesome.
exact. He fucking tries to embrace the culture of the person that he cares about. Like,
Yes.
that's how that's supposed to be done, and I think we've fallen off from that. But
And
That's some
Jackie has
good
done the
character
same.
development.
Jackie does the same thing. Tries to embrace stuff like that. Just like
That's right.
the pool scene. I love the pool hall scene where Jackie is looking at the dude. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh God!
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I can't say it. And you quit smoking.
That's bad for you.
Bad for you. People have
I don't
people
want
have-
trouble.
people have lost their way in that fact. Like
Hmm.
at one point we were trying to learn and integrate and be with, you know, to learn about other cultures. And now if we start learning about other cultures and embracing it, then we get accused of cultural appropriation. And people using black sense.
I
But
will
at the
say
same
there
time, you
are
have to. At
cultural
the same time,
appropriation.
you have to have that representation.
No, cultural appropriation
finding-
does not exist.
No, see,
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, are you saying that white girls with cornrows don't exist? Because god damn it, they do.
That's not cultural appropriation, that's a hairstyle.
I don't. I have a much better example of cultural appropriation. It's called a museum.
It's not, okay, that is cultural appropriation. I'll give you that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that everybody is missing. It's cultural misappropriation is what we have to look out for. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Misappropriating somebody's culture and just murderizing it is the problem. Because guess what?
Yes.
Everybody in this world has appropriated several different cultures and converted it into their life.
You like tacos?
You like taco? Exactly.
Cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation. Do you like any kind of food that is not native to where you were from or your original culture? Cultural
Of course,
appropriation.
but I don't. But I've never liked any of it so much that I decided that you know what I want to be now. I think, like, let's be honest. That when you talk about cultural appropriation, that's what people think about, not what fucking food you like. Like,
But
you
no,
take it that
that's
far,
just
you're
an
splitting
example.
hairs.
If it leaks into something like your profession, like if you were a world-class chef, where you had to immerse yourself into not just the food culture, but the culture of the food that you're preparing, then that's a little bit it's a little bit important to the job.
It is.
I mean,
there was this,
if you-
there's this lady who recently wrote a cookbook on making Asian food. You know, red-haired white girl, and she wrote a book. She is like a highly trained chef. She knows what she's talking about. Trained with several people, and then people were attacking her because her cookbook was about cooking Asian food.
I mean, that's just stupid, though. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but that's just dumb.
It
I feel like there's a
It is
point
dumb,
where you have
and
to
that's
look
the
at some of this
problem.
and go, all right, you're reaching real hard. But that
And that-
doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. But some of these examples are people just reaching way too fucking hard.
And that's the problem with today's media, is then it becomes a big stink that it doesn't need to be. Our entire culture is based off of appropriation of other things and people we meet throughout the world. Okay, so cultural appropriation is not a real thing in the sense of this is bad. Cultural misappropriation is the issue.
In the land of immigrants, where we've all come together to try to form a more perfect union. Cultural appropriation is at our core.
Quite literally.
The misappropriation of it, sure, that's when things start getting a little hay. But at this point in time, to say that America is not a mass
Shit.
appropriation, not I don't want to use the word appropriation, a mass collective of different cultures from the different people that moved here, is to basically say that's basically un-American. We, if you besides the Native Americans who were born here, practically every citizen in this country who's like second or third generation and beyond, they're all from various cultures and have taken various cultures into their own.
And if we
That's
didn't
fair.
mingle
we need to-
like
we
we
need-
have, go ahead.
We need to find that fine line of where we are respecting it, but not trying to make a parody of it.
Cornrows. White girls with cornrows is the line.
Why does it matter?
I'm
Bo
sorry,
Derek
but I've
with
never,
cornrows.
I've
Why does it
never met a
matter?
white chick with cornrows that didn't actually attempt to say the N word. I promise you.
Okay, that
You
I'll
are
give you.
not wrong.
I'll give you that. I'll give you
He's
that.
not wrong. Now that
not
he
wrong.
mentions
No,
that,
no.
now that he brings that up, he is not wrong.
He's not wrong. But there is no
Every
wrong.
white
Nothing
girl
wrong.
I've met have acted blacker than my cousins.
Right?
Okay. So it still reiterates the fact that there's nothing wrong with rocking cornrows. It's the way you behave is the problem.
That's just a matter of nature versus nurture.
Yes. It's like I've had dreadlocks in my life. Do you know that?
I've never seen you with dreads.
I had them for
Wanna
about a
walk?
year and then I cut them all off.
That's
Should
like
have
when-
took a picture, man. Did you take a picture?
There's probably a picture somewhere.
Find it.
I looked like Bo Derek. Okay.
Find it. Maggie's sister has dreads.
Yep.
Actually,
And that's the thing. Dreadlocks aren't particularly belong to any culture. Everybody's hair mats and or dreads.
Well, it belongs to the Rastafarian culture. If we're going to be honest,
No, it
about
doesn't,
but-
because
They're more
Vikings
They're
actually
supposed
braided,
predominantly known
they
for the
did that too.
Rastafarians, but
Yes,
to dread your
Vikings
hair,
dreaded their hair.
like-
Pirates dreaded their hair. Everything.
yeah, I mean,
White people
really
and black
the
people
easiest
and
thing to do
Indian
if your
people
hair can
dreaded their hair.
go naturally.
There are records
think
of
it-
Chinese people dreading their hair and everything. Is it
On
like
well,
today's?
Was it on purpose? Is the question. Was it?
If you do it on purpose,
I was
like-
not particularly there to ask them
if
separately.
you
Well,
were
that's what I'm
that
saying,
nasty
like-
to your hair,
Like,
Did you do that to your hair on purpose, sir? What?
well, for
Me?
example, I did like this on my head at the moment. I purposely did this. I could
Yes.
also dread my hair, and so could you, by just not doing anything to my hair. I could just leave it alone, and it will develop dreads. It's just not going to be uniform.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
and
so I know that Vikings did dread their hair on purpose
yeah,
if I remember correctly, Vikings like would braid their hair
and
specifically.
let it grow and dread it. Yeah.
they had to.
Which,
They had a
if
lot
you
of
leave
hair,
a
and they had
braid
to
in
get
it-
it out of the way, and it couldn't be. It had to be in a certain way because when you're on the sea or a lot, it does a lot of things to your hair. Number one,
And it keeps
when
you
you're a
warm.
seafaring folk,
Yeah.
Yep.
My point was that dreading your hair becoming dreaded is to an extent a natural occurrence. It is a natural occurrence to an extent, but culturally, some people do not do go out of their way to avoid that. Rastafarian culture did not. Generally, they do not. They go out of their way to actually put that in place. So when
And
I say
I'm-
it's like,
I'm not just
and to cut it is very against the rules.
Yes. I'm not saying that, that it's not part of their culture or trying to disprove any of that. I'm just saying that it does not belong to anybody. It is literally something our hair will do automatically if we leave it alone long enough. And if somebody wants to rock dreads, it's not cultural appropriation, it's their choice.
honestly, I can't think of anybody who would actually call dreads cultural appropriation. I'm really being honest about it.
I've seen people like attacking white people because they have their hair dreaded.
Oh well, they're
Yeah.
attacking them for the wrong reason. You
Yep.
should attack them because it looks bad, not because it's cultural appropriation.
Looks bad, smells bad.
Right?
I'm gonna cut this off, not because I
But I
think
will.
you're taking it from a
But
culture.
I will
because
agree with.
that shit
Yeah, I will agree with
stinks.
Token. No dreads. No cornrows. Cornrows is the line. That is the line in the sand, in the concrete, if you will.
Mhm.
That's it. Next time I come down there, I'm gonna have your mom cornrow my hair, Tony.
Oh, you won't have to ask my mom. If you want it done right, you have to ask my auntie.
You're right. You're right. I'll go see you on.
Or
Good luck,
Dominique's
homie.
mom.
You know what? I didn't even think of that. Dominique's mom would be able to do that really well, wouldn't she?
She is a licensed
Yeah.
salon
Person.
cosmetologist.
There we go. Yeah, no, that's a valid point. I didn't even think about that. I'll get her to do it. We'll do it upright.
What's funny is the fact that you need to go to a licensed person says a lot because even my father can do cornrows. My father 100% could. Fuck that dude, but he 100% can. But at the same time, he didn't believe, like, he refused to do my hair when I grew my hair out. Like when I was a kid and wanted like cornrows for a while, he refused to do his son's hair. He didn't like that was a thing that was like a 100% no go for him. He did my little sister's hair. That's how I found out that he could do it and started to want him to do it, like do mine, because he would actually do my sister's hair, but he refused to touch mine because he didn't feel comfortable doing his son's hair. But as a black man, he did make a point to learn how to do his, and I'm assuming it's because he used to have to do his sister's hair growing up and things like that too. Like that's just a thing that black families apparently just taught each other how to do, was like cornrow hair. Like at that point, I feel like
I've always known how to braid.
Braiding and cornrows are two different things.
Yes.
Like it's actually braiding and plaiting at that point, but
Yeah.
it's
braiding. There's just an extra step in there.
Oh yeah.
I can't do it.
But I mean, like,
there's an exact science
I can
to
braid
getting your hair braided versus getting it cornrowed.
But I braid my beard all the time. Like I do it all the time. That's actually why my beard has this weird like middle part. Oh, it didn't do it today. It's kind of doing it. But like that's why that's there, is because how often I'll actually take my beard, pull it apart, and like twist and all that fun shit.
That's a right proper beard there, sir.
It's a mess right now. I haven't been washing and conditioning.
There you go. It's not the tightest braid in the world, but
I think the white dude's proven that he can braid his own hair. Look at him.
I learned because of my sister.
I'm not positive the point you're proving here, besides that you can braid your hair.
Look, I've known this man since we were children, and at one point when we started entering, like, I think it was either high school or we were just getting out of middle school, he has suddenly become so girly with his hair.
That's right.
Like before that, he just didn't give a fuck whether it was long or short or whatever. But after he started maturing,
be honest,
he's developed an entire
routine. This shit. He hit middle age and he started caring. I did it too. That's what this is. I'm over 30 and I still have hair. I'm just like, you know what? While I got it, I'm gonna do something with it.
No.
Me and I are pushing 40. I still have my hair to, and I'm getting a couple of grays, but I don't give a shit about my hair. To the point where I don't even want to grow it out anymore. I just want to keep it short.
I hit adolescence and became vain about my hair. It's literally the only thing I'm vain about.
Super vain.
Don't touch it. There are a few people in this world that are allowed to touch it. And if you touch it, I will turn around and I will, bitch, don't touch it.
And this was before he started dating. Shit was weird.
I mean, let him be a diva. That's fine.
Diva mode activate.
Don't fuck with my hair now. I'll fuck you up.
I mean, I get it though. I mean, granted, I'm also black, so that's just a thing. But
fuck you up.
I hate that that's a thing. Why
what
is that
on? Oh my god! What is on that knife? Is that knife is dirty as fuck, man?
It's not dirty. It's just the paint is coming off of it. This thing is like 20 years old at this point.
Wait, is that the one that you picked up in
Myrtle Beach like eons ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
Christ, you still have that?
Yes.
Huh. All right.
Mine's bigger and blacker than yours.
This is the knife show now.
All right.
Hey! Hold on.
Wrong website.
Keep that blade hidden, sir.
Bring knife fight, you say?
No, not a meat sword fight. Come on now. Uh,
I
We
can
were
swing my
not
sword,
dueling here
sword.
today.
right.
God.
All right, now that we're changing the subject. Who watched Day Shift?
I've
I
not watched
watched
it
Day
yet.
Shift.
Day
I
Shift
haven't
was
watched it.
fantastic. It is.
I
It
did.
is by no means a well-written movie. The dialogue is campy as hell. Honestly, everything about it is campy as hell. But I'll be damned if it is not just one of the funnest movies I've watched.
Yeah, I need to watch it. Also, everybody, welcome to the fun part of the show.
Yes, this is we're gonna lighten it up a bit by talking about some fun shit.
That's right.
To go this, I think the topic was supposed to be like just things that are dumb fun to watch. I actually found
Yes.
myself, and people are gonna laugh at this. Avengers Endgame is one of my dumb fun movies.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care. It's why it's dumb fun. But to this day, like as many times as I've watched that movie, just the scene where Cap is like about to make his final stand against Thanos and the army, and Sam and everybody shows up. Like I still tear up a little bit every time on that scene.
Sir.
It was so well done, and it comes.
It was.
Sir.
It tied the story up from fucking Captain America too. Like from that point going forward, like it circled around so well. Like that one line, like on your left, was so predominant. Like it was such a throwaway thing, but that actually being said was well done, and it brings it back together for at least like their little story for a moment. I'm like, yes, and it was awesome.
I have no idea about you guys, but I saw that movie on opening weekend. And when he said on your left and the portal started opening up, you could not hear a quiet noise in the theater I was sitting in. People were standing up and cheering.
Exactly.
And then Cap said the thing.
Yep.
He finally said the thing.
Yep.
Everyone lost their shit.
Yep, that shit was insane. Like that's what made those movies fun for me. Is like going to a movie theater with a crowd and everybody just cheering in unison for certain moments. Like that is when you know for sure that you are a fan. Like
Yes.
that's when you understand like what it is to be a fan of those types of movies and be a Marvel fan is when you get so fucking excited for like the little shit as like a group of 100 or like 200 people. Another one was the Broly movie when it came out. Holy shit. The fucking audiences for that are insane. And not even just that. Have you seen the reactions when people watch the Tournament of Power, like the end of the Tournament of Power? Like you got they showed that shit in cities. Like you got seas of people in cities just standing in the streets watching Dragon Ball, just going ham because Goku and Jiren are just throwing down. I'm just like, I don't even like fucking Goku. But this is great. This is fucking dope.
That moment.
The episode where the budget came in. And we got a couple of extra frames of animation.
I still absolutely love that sequence of him and Frieza bouncing in between Super Saiyan and Golden form as they push Jiren off the side.
I love that.
Fucking beautiful. and then all of a sudden you just see Android 17 stand up like, yo.
So
what's up?
Like the three most over characters in Dragon Ball today, unfortunately, well, outside of Vegeta, 17 and Frieza like earned their moment right. I've always been a huge Frieza fan, by the way. Like I'm a huge Frieza fan. I'm a huge fan of their villains overall. But that was like a really well-rounded moment and also just dumb fun to watch. Like you don't even have to be a Dragon Ball fan just to understand like this shit's intense.
Yep. You're not
guys.
Wrong. Not wrong.
By the way, speaking of Frieza,
he back.
I'm just gonna
spoil it.
Copy and paste this.
You can go ahead and spoil this week's issue. That's what you're doing right now.
No. This is just more fun. Some more fun, dumb stuff.
Oh,
but I'm just gonna copy paste this in 3 nerds. If either one of you wants to, put that out there for the stream.
Put it out in the stream so we can look at it.
Oh yeah,
it's clean.
Black Frieza. I haven't read it yet.
Okay,
I have not read
on.
it yet, but I have seen like stills of Frieza arriving, and that was the speculation for these most recent issues was that Frieza was coming back.
Frieza's
guys-
back, and he's black.
Have you guys ever read the whole like the fan? I guess it's fanfic at this point, but the guy who wrote it is actually working on the Dragon Ball Super manga right now. They hired
yeah.
him because of it.
Mhm.
Like Goku's third son or something like that. His other son shows up to Earth and he's beating
Yeah,
everybody's
that
ass.
was he did I believe he was the lead animator for Dragon Ball Super Heroes.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. But yeah, no, he got a job with him because of it. I watched the video this morning and I'm like, oh, this is pretty dope. But what's cool is it follows GT storyline instead of what Super's doing. And I kind of wish they would do more GT story stuff.
Oh, I'm glad they have.
Listen, I'm part of that group of people that enjoyed GT. I liked GT. It was convoluted, but I still enjoyed it.
Mm,
Come on. I want to see more adventures of Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr.
mm.
I think it would be fun. It would be less of this bullshit like, oh, well, now I have unlocked a new form. It's called Ultra Instinct Fart Smelling God Mode.
Well, that's not going to stop. And I'm hate
I know.
Yeah,
you, but
like
it
I
is.
know it's
speaking of
not.
which,
I know
apparently
it's not.
Ultra Instinct has a new level where it just looks like Goku.
Yeah, he went back to it's like
He went
yeah,
all the way around.
Honestly, it's not. It's less the fact that he went back to that. It's the name. Like for me, it's the name that they gave it because it's
Ultra
like
Instinct God Mode or something like that.
no, it's like another like
no.
it's like perfected or something like that. Even though the
Oh,
one
yeah.
before was Ultra Instinct Complete, and then the one before that. It's stupid because they all are basically like saying, "Oh, it's completed," and he's gotten it down to like a moment.
Y'all talking
And-
about DBZ. I think so.
Oh shit, Zoller's
talking
down
about
for
Dragon
Dragon Ball Superheroes.
Listen,
Zoller's
no.
down.
I haven't watched it yet, so I'm not talking about it. But
Here comes the thing. They need to stop. Okay, they need to just make him go up one more power level, and then he explodes and can never come back. And then let's fully follow Gohan like we should have all those years ago. Let's follow Gohan because at this point,
Yes.
That's
Goku
what
is
they're doing.
getting
Yes.
stupid.
Let's go.
That's
Is
what they're doing.
Gohan needs to pick up the slack, drop that fucking green tracksuit. Oh my god.
No,
Let's go.
Let him beat ass in the green tracksuit. All right, he rolls
Hell
up
no.
on he rolls up on some villain, and this villain's like, "What's with the tracksuit?" And then Gohan just lays down the beat down, takes his tracksuit off, puts it on the ground, the jacket off, and then lays the beat down, puts it back on, and picks up Videl. And
I'm
goes
sorry.
on his day.
The only clothes that Gohan is allowed to show in for his training sessions or just to show up to fight in
here it goes.
are the clothes that his teacher gave him.
The
It's
Piccolo
still
Mr.
outfit.
fucking Piccolo. He needs to
Oh,
show up
this
in the purple gi
I knew
with
it
the
was
weighted
coming.
shoulder pads. And maybe have a version of him later on where he's like done with his training, and then Piccolo says, "Your training is complete," and he gives them the hat.
He gives him the hat. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I will say that I'm fine with the green suit. As long as he doesn't wear the helmet. Gohan with the suit on without the helmet was
Oh, the Mr.
way better.
Saiyaman suit,
Yes.
Yeah,
the Great
Yeah.
Saiyaman.
the Great Saiyaman
Aw.
suit. If you take the helmet off, it looks pretty good. The helmet just fucked that up real bad.
He's literally just wearing the what's
Not with a
the-
do-rag. No do-rag either. No do-rag, no shades.
No do-rag
Just
and shades.
no do-rag
do-rag
and
and
shades
shades?
either.
He
Come
needs a do-rag and
on.
shags. He needs a
Look,
do-rag and
Great
shags.
Saiyaman is a look. Without the helmet, he just looks like one of the
I fucks with
Dragon
Saiyaman
Warrior
too.
heroes with a pair of with a bodysuit on.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, that fit was fucking good too. Like him with when he actually got beat out of the Saiyaman suit and just had the black bodysuit on. That shit was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
That shit was lit as fuck. I have to say, like that man came with the like when you break Gohan down to the Under Armour. Oh, you fucked up.
The Under Armour. Oh
Like,
god.
You ever got your ass whooped by a dude in Under Armour? Man, he did not come to play. He came to show off and show out.
All right, let's talk about Vegeta.
Ooh, the
and
Prince of all Saiyans, whose ego
Prince
is
of
bigger than his
all-
power ability.
The
So
Prince
actually,
of all
no, his
3 and
ego
4
is
quarter
his power.
Saiyans.
His ego is literally his power to the point where his
Yes.
transformation in the manga currently is called Ultra Ego.
Ultra ego.
geez.
He go
And
like he powers up, his hair turns purple and he loses his eye. It's fucking good though. Because it's literally the more damage Vegeta takes, the stronger he gets.
The Prince of all Saiyans,
this is
all
probably like the
4
throwback
or
like
5
design
of
what they
them.
had for if he ever achieved Super Saiyan 3, I think.
Exactly. It's what it was. It's essentially that. And it goes to that whole like it's like a berserker mode for him. Because
Mm.
at that point you have to beat Vegeta unconscious to survive. Like to beat him in that form, you basically have to beat him till he can't move. Because he doesn't really register pain. He's just going all out balls to the walls like everything you do to him makes him hit you harder, so you literally have to stop him from hitting you. Like,
It's his
not
double
to men-
trigger.
not to mention he's been training with Beerus, so he also has some of Beerus's moves. Like he can.
That's
do
right.
the-
He does have a destruction energy too.
He has destruction energy now, so that's a thing. So to
Hi.
so to go back to what you were saying about bringing Gohan into the fold as the main character, I think that's what they're doing. Like
I
they're
hope
playing
so.
around with this whole idea of Broly being around and Gohan being powered up and being around. They're doing their things. Goku and Vegeta are off planet almost all the time now, training under Whis and Beerus respectively, fucking getting ready to basically possibly surpass them and take their places as an angel and god of destruction, which we've seen the Dragon Ball superheroes like game or whatever, or the show for that, like play around with that idea where you see Angel Goku and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like I think that's where they're headed with that to begin with. So I'm okay with this. I like where the manga has been taking these characters lately, and I think I like where Super's been taking the characters too.
I agree. We can only stay on Earth for so much, and really at this point, it's about creating. It's about. I think at this point, it's about coming full circle with character development for these people who have been in character development hell since God
Ever.
Blue Sokka.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
By the way, Zord, here you go. Forgot to put this up here earlier.
Uh-oh. Just disappointed.
Ultra ego. He does look like a disappointed dad about to whoop his son's ass. You're absolutely right.
I
Oh,
just-
got enough, huh? This is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you.
I just...
Literally the epitome of this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you.
The difference is I'm going to enjoy it.
But yeah, it's literally Vegeta like embracing the whole spirit of combat.
Vegeta should have kept the mustache.
The spirit of vengeance.
Vegeta should have kept the mustache. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, he should-
Mustache.
The mustache.
Mustache.
He should have just kept making ramen. That's what he should have been doing. Like became one of the world's greatest ramen chefs. Just fucking
I'm
loved
the
it.
prince of all ramen cooks.
I'm the prince of all ramen. Until you touch my Bulma, then all bets are off.
That's my wife. Just throwing hands at Beerus, not even before even getting remotely close to God mode.
Yep.
Right.
He took Beerus down in Super Saiyan. Like he landed a punch on Beerus in Super Saiyan form, something that Goku could not do.
Super Saiyan 1.
Like he just laid hands on that man out of nowhere, which is why Beerus respects Vegeta so fucking much. He was like, "This man loves his wife more than I love food." Holy shit! He literally said, "Fuck the planet and everybody on it. Don't touch my wife."
When you're ready,
Which honestly is on par for Vegeta's character because Vegeta actually doesn't care about the Earth. If the Earth got destroyed, as long as his family's safe, he gives two shits.
Right. So, speaking of other anime, they made another live-action Full Metal Alchemist movie.
I'm not surprised.
I saw it. Well, no, I saw it on Netflix. I didn't actually watch it, but yeah, it's there.
I couldn't even get through the first one. Why is there a second one? It looks bad.
Japan
They all do.
tries.
So
Japan tries because
bad.
Japan tries so just in case so that America doesn't try.
Yeah, you know what? I'd rather have Japan try than America try. You're right.
And
That's a valid point.
sometimes we get some that do hit. The Japanese
all.
live action Death Note, it hits.
It's all shit.
Ooh.
Death Note's
Ooh.
fucking terrible, anyways.
That's a hot take. A lot of people did not care for the Death Note at live action. I was mediocre about it. I didn't think it was terrible.
The Japanese one.
Oh.
Not the American Netflix adaptation.
My bad. You right.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe is fucking.
Willem Dafoe is the best part of that movie.
Willem Dafoe's the
Honestly,
only
they
good
could have
part
done
of
him
that
without
movie.
CG.
Yep, it would have been fine.
His face is already close enough to Ryuk's.
God, I will always have the respect for Willem Dafoe because they literally had to use a stunt cock in a movie for him because his was too big.
That's right.
Antichrist,
know.
everybody. If you really want to, it's Antichrist. It's definitely Antichrist. If you really want to know, it's Antichrist. Go watch that movie if you haven't seen it, but boy, don't talk to me about it after the fact. I saw it. We ain't got to talk about it. I seen what I seen. I give that movie an 8 out of 10. I give that movie like a 6.5 out of 7. I give it a solid 7 out of 10, but boy, it was a long ride getting there. Hot damn. Movies that are dumb fun, everybody. It's got
Movies
Willem
that are dumb
Dafoe.
fun.
Okay.
So
Now,
day
we've
shift.
gotten yours. Zord, I guess you can go ahead with yours, and I'll close out with mine, I guess.
Oh, I don't even know. I'm still distracted by the Willem Dafoe thing.
Big Dick Dafoe.
BD Dafoe. Go ahead, Coco.
Oh God.
Oh, he will him with the Willa. God. In high school, we called that putting the willow on the pillow.
So,
Oh jeez.
so day shift with Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, and honestly, that's all you really need to know. Snoop Dogg is fucking hilarious in the entire movie. Holy
Dave Franco
crap!
is pretty
Dave
good in
Franco.
it.
Yeah. See, that's
Oh, I
how
love
much
Dave
of an
Franco.
impression he did. He I barely remembered he was in that movie.
I keep getting that guy mixed up with Zac Efron for some stupid reason.
right. They do look still out of alike.
They
That's
do
one of
look
those
too
moments where,
closely
like, two white people that look exactly alike. I mean, can't tell the difference half the time myself, so it's fine. You get a pass on that one.
Okay, I get a pass. Cool.
But my favorite part is the brothers. The brothers
yes.
are fucking hilarious. Like, you put the most cheesiest bullshit in one scene in a movie, and it's the sequence with the brothers. I need another. Pass me another one. Pass me one,
Let me
bro.
Nah, we can't share a clip, otherwise
No, we can't.
the stream will get taken down. But
Oh God!
let
it
me
is
just
fucking
say,
amazing.
that entire scene, for those who
Yes.
haven't seen it, that entire scene, trick shots.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I gotta.
We're talking like we're talking trick shots with shotguns, fucking hidden blades in boots, and people doing half gainer backflip kicks, kicking off zombie heads. I mean,
Dude,
vampire
vampire
heads.
heads. The best part is they have clips for each other's guns on each other's backs. So like
Yes.
the one brother 1 and brother 2. Brother 2 is carrying the ammo for brother 1, and brother 1 is carrying the ammo for brother 2. So they just have to reach over on each other's back and reload their guns, and it's hilarious. It's
They
brilliant.
never reload normally. It's all tactical
It's all
reloads.
tactical reloads. Or it's a trick reload or something. Just complete and utter bullshit. Oh my god.
Those two brothers that always fought each other until they had to fight somebody together. That's what that is. That's what that
Yeah.
is. I haven't
Yeah.
even seen the movie, and I can already tell you, I got cousins like that.
Oh yeah.
Literally
they're-
couldn't talk
they're-
shit to each other until you got involved, and all of a sudden they forget they put their differences all the way aside.
They're not Eastern European, but they speak with a heavy Eastern European,
European
accent, and they just come in
kill
and
it.
they just wreck shit.
Okay, so it's Steve
And they're there for
Howard.
just that one scene.
That's it. Literally,
It's
that's
the crazy part.
They show up for a scene. It's like literally next to Snoop Dogg's entrance at the big showdown in Act 3. It is the best scene in the entire movie. Like that whole
Yes.
sequence is the best scene. And it's
Snoop
only
Dogg as a
subtly
black cowboy
Cowboy.
vampire hunter.
Hunter. Yes, it is
Just
only
imagine that shit.
it's only subtly better than Snoop Dogg's entrance at the third act. Only subtly better because his entrance at the third act is absolutely fucking amazing. And once you see it, you'll understand why. Because Big Bertha is boss. Now,
Big
the two
Bertha is
act-
boss.
It's the two actors. Steve Howie plays the brother that's driving, and Scott Adkins. Now, if I remember correctly,
Yes, Scott Adkins.
is a martial artist.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
He was. He played the commander in the Ip Man 4.
Yep. Yep.
He was in what else did he do recently?
Okay,
besides
so
that?
he did. Hold on, he's done Boyka, Undisputed, Undisputed
Mhm.
3, Undisputed Avengement. Okay, Ninja, Shadow of a Tear. Wow, Ip Man 4, the final, The Debt Collector, John Wick Chapter 4, Ninja, Hard Target 2, Accident Man, and One Shot. Dude, he is literally like has the role of cheesy martial arts flicks. It's awesome.
I think he did one Jackie Chan film.
He
But,
might be a stuntman.
Yeah, he did. He did a stunt scene. He did
Oh,
a stunt
there's
scene
more.
for one Jackie Chan film, but Jackie didn't like him too much because he was too slow
Because he was too
and he couldn't
slow.
keep up with the timing.
No, that wasn't Scott Atkins. That wasn't Scott Atkins. That was somebody else.
I'm
I believe.
pretty sure that was Scott Adkins.
Let me see. I'm looking at his entire movieology thing right here. Oh God, he was in Wolverine Origins. I'm sorry. Hope that paycheck was worth it.
So-
He was in the first Expendables.
Oh God!
Zord, read Zoller's quote in the chat real quick.
Okay.
Holy
Off topic,
shit!
it's amazing the British traveled the world for spices, and the best food they could come up with is beans on. Ah!
Talking to you, Jamie Oliver. Jamie
Yeah.
fucking Oliver. We're talking about you, sir.
Oh God.
He was in Doctor Strange.
Jamie Oliver was?
No, just Scott Atkins.
Oh. I was about to say, fuck that man and his fried rice.
Oh my God.
Also, if y'all have never like followed or watched any of the Uncle Roger videos, please do. They're so
Oh, I
good.
fucking love Uncle Roger. He's hysterical.
Oh
my
yeah.
God.
Another thing to highlight in this movie. The amount of contortionists they hired.
Yes.
Holy
Oh
shit.
my God. Like all of the scenes that look like they should be CGI were not. They were actually contortionists doing these scenes. And there are some scenes where you're like, ow.
They take some heavy hits.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Jesus, did Tarantino write this shit?
You would think.
God,
I was thinking it was either Tarantino or Sam Raimi because we get a good vomit scene in the opening act.
Yeah.
nice. I'm gonna have to watch this tonight. God damn it.
I highly
I
recommend
highly
it.
suggest it. Yeah, dude.
I have to
It's
see my
it's
Netflix
worth
is
watching.
on.
Mhm.
Oh man.
All right.
Good.
Do you have anything else to discuss? Because I'm going to bring up mine. It is a guilty pleasure, and this is an old one.
We're going to talk about guilty pleasures. There was a movie called Daybreak with Ethan Hawke and
God.
Willem Dafoe. Listen, a lot of people shit on that movie, but I like it. It was fine. It was fun. I wish they would have expanded more. I disagree with some of the things that the vampires were doing in this movie. Like, human farming was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why did they have them hooked up to those machines? Why didn't they have free-range blood banks, Quarantine several cities, all right, put up walls and guards, and allow the humans to breed so you have an everlasting food stock. But no, they were sitting here, had them hooked up to machines, draining them. That's the dumbest shit ever. That is not a sustainable food method. I mean, what kind of dumb shit person thought that up? I know who thought it up, Bromley. But that's besides the point. And then I love how they... Yeah, that's a whole nother story. Then I like how they cured it. Like, the cure was a short injection of sun, and it wasn't actually, like, the virus was burned out of the body, but then you put out the fire before any permanent damage is done, and then the cure is just continuously spread from person to person if they bite somebody already cured. I liked that idea. That was a really cool idea, okay?
All right,
But
hold on
the
a sec.
movie had loads of problems.
Shout outs to first time chat viewer Decepticon J,
Welcome, bud.
long time viewer, first time chatter.
Yes. Yes, that is absolutely true. I do love the fact that they gave a good reason for that. Yes, I'm with you on that one, Decepticon J. That was really good. Thank you for the follow also. I appreciate it. But the movie was good. Like I liked the build up, the execution. I have issues with the world building, but all in all, it was good. I would love to see that. Would be a nice slow burning TV show. Started out the first like 3 episodes, the
Okay.
outbreak to vampirism, and then if you want to do a 12 episode thing, like the next 9 episodes are about everything up to the point where Ethan Hawke's character is, meets with the humans. Then the second season you can develop even more. Build this world out, which could be really cool. Please, dear God, fix the human farming problem, because that was stupid. I'm like, listen, I ain't a vampire and I don't need to drink blood, but I had way better methods to farm some humans than that shit.
Mm.
You could cordon off an entire city, have thousands upon thousands of humans in there, and all they would have to do is give a pint of blood every couple days. And it would feed the entire population until they found a blood substitute. Sorry.
I mean-
okay, I'm done.
Honestly, I feel like you could just keep the blood connection active and you're good to go. Like it literally already exists. You give them Walmart gift cards and movie tickets, and
Right?
you're fucking good.
Exactly. Exactly. There's no reason to convert the entire population. You convert half of them. You convert people who are sick and dying, and then you farm
Convert
them
the
correctly.
willing ones,
Exactly.
and then you create an incentive program for the ones who want to help donate, but still
don't want to be a vampire. You rule
Yeah.
the day. We rule the night. We don't break into your house and eat you, and you donate blood. Done.
Kill
Everybody
King.
wins. What's up, Kill King?
Okay, what's up?
What's
Everybody
up?
wins.
So to meld the two different things we've talked about together at this point, the two different topics. How do you? First of all, we've got 2 iconic vampire movies being remade. You've got Interview with a Vampire. I think Interview with a Vampire is a series.
Yes,
I think that's a series, or is it a movie?
they're making it
And
a
then you've
series.
also got,
I
I
think
think
so.
so. And then you've got them doing a reimagining of Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is basically a female cast from what I've been able to tell so far. It's like, or potentially like female vampires. I knew it. I knew it.
What?
Where's my image? Where's the image? I was waiting
Hold
for
on.
it.
No, but why? Why? Because Bram Stoker's Dracula is heavily based off of Vlad the Impaler's life.
Reimagine.
Okay, why-
It's even in the title. Or I'm sorry. It's even in the trailer that it is a reimagining. So
Are they
don't-
calling it Dracula?
No, they are not. They are
Okay,
not.
so they're just telling a vampire story.
They are telling a vampire story, but they are basing it off of Bram Stoker's Dracula they're using that as the basis and doing their own telling
Okay,
of
so
it.
they're telling a similar story of how Bram Stoker's Dracula was told, right?
Yeah.
Okay, see
Yeah.
that's different. I'm saying what I thought you were saying is like they're remaking Bram Stoker's Dracula with a female Dracula, and I'm like, no, Vlad the Impaler was not. No, that's not going to work. But if they're going to take the essence of Bram Stoker's Dracula and tell a vampire story that way, that's fine.
Trying to find the trailer, but
I'm trying to find it too. It's literally not called that, so it's fucking hard.
I'm assuming it's not called the new Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay, that's good. No, that's fine.
I'm getting
Fuck,
everything but.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that. That's cool. I just
Mm.
I don't want it to fall victim to the problem of like, oh well, we're just gonna tell this same story, but with this insert ethnic and or female lead. And I feel you, Decepticon Jay. I probably would too.
Let me see here. Well, you know what? I was going to mention my own guilty pleasure movie, but I'm just going to throw in a movie that.
Well, no, you're
Or-
gonna tell
well,
us
not
the
even a
guilty
movie.
pleasure. Let's go. What's the guilty pleasure movie first?
All right, fine. I'm going to mention it, and I'm going to go into detail on the other thing. So,
Okay.
my guilty pleasure movie the one that I just always love to watch, my go-to.
And
Shit, my train of thought vanished because I heard a random noise. My go-to guilty pleasure movie, Demolition Man.
oh yeah, no, that's always a great movie. No, I don't give a
Sylvester
shit if you want
Stallone.
to run around butt-ass naked covered in green jello. Heads
Hurting
up.
people's never a good thing. Well, sometimes it is, but never when it's
Sometimes
these
it is.
people trying to eat.
You just destroyed a $200,000 mini mall to save a kid whose ransom was only $10,000 or $20,000. What do you have to say to that? Fuck you, lady.
Good
Good
answer.
answer. Send a psycho to
The
catch a
Invitation.
psycho. The
It's
invitation.
The Invitation.
Okay.
The Invitation.
Yep.
That's the new Bram Stoker movie.
If I remember correctly, yeah.
Let's see.
Invitation.
It's the Drac movie, The Last Voyage of Demeter.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Like, you know, she goes to find her cousins in England.
Do believe so, yeah.
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 Okay. How is this even compared to Bram Stoker's Dracula? I don't understand.
I've got to watch the trailer again, see if that's the one. But there's like a lot of Dracula stuff coming up in the next couple of years apparently as well, so maybe
Oh,
That'd be a whole
okay.
thing.
So more Dracula things.
Okay.
But yeah, Demolition Man, solid.
Demolition Man. It's a very solid film to just shut your brain off and watch. Sylvester Stallone, fucking
Last Action Hero is a solid one too. Wesley Snipes,
Wesley Snipes. Thank you.
Rob Schneider, Sandra Bullock. Trying to
Sandra
remember
Bullock.
who else is in here. Dennis Leary, who can never
Yes,
go
Dennis
wrong
Leary, the Mr. Edgar.
with. Edgar
Friendly.
Friendly. Yes. Don't you have somebody else to be attacking? One
Don't
Mr.
you have
Edgar
someone
Friendly?
to kill?
Yes. Exactly.
'Cause I'm about freedom. I'm about freedom of speech.
That's it.
I'm about freedom of choice.
Hey, I don't know if you guys need to know this, but you're out of toilet paper. What's in place? There's these 3 seashells. What's toilet paper?
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
I can understand how that could be slightly confusing.
He gets that look. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Zachary Lamb. Good lord!
That's a fun out later.
Shit, you were the best helicopter pilot ever, and they landed you.
Yes. You have been fined one thing. I don't even remember what it is.
You've been fined 1 citation for the improper language
John
violation
Spartan.
or something. John Spartan.
Yes.
God.
They never say like one name or the other. Like they never say Mr. Spartan or John. It's always John Spartan.
Greetings and salutations, Lamina Huxley. Be well. Oh God, that whole movie's a mess. Oh, it's like, you know, like one of my favorite movies ever is still Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze. You get
Oh, you prefer
Kevin
Secret
Nash.
of the Ooze?
I've always preferred Secret of the Ooze.
Well, that's fine because I actually prefer the third.
You prefer
Bro,
God,
we can't be
the
friends anymore.
Third one?
I don't give a fuck.
That movie was fucking terrible.
That shit was
Lord.
hilarious when fucking Mikey landed on that
Terrible.
horse ride, or was it Mikey or Raph that landed on the fucking
It's Mikey
The
that
horse
turned
backwards.
landed on the horse backwards.
Yeah, it's
that
Mikey.
shit killed me. That killed me. And I mean, of course, just the visual effects of that movie were still really good. Like they were still really good.
Those puppets were fucking terrible. It wasn't done by the Jim Henson Company anymore. The puppets were terrible. Splinter was literally just sitting there on a box the entire time. Why was Casey Jones' cousin, even our ancestor, even in Japan at that point, and a thief?
That makes
Okay,
zero sense.
what sense does that even make? All right.
Oh, because the Europeans were selling the guns to the Japanese.
Yeah, but
No, thank you. Even Decepticon Jay says that you're wrong.
He'll always disagree with me about things.
well, that's why we
Listen.
have you on the show. We have you for the we gotta have the one guy who we disagree with.
Listen,
We can't have an echo
this,
chamber.
This is what makes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze the best Turtles movie ever. Straight up. I love the first
Vanilla
one.
Ice.
No.
Shit.
Kevin Nash as Super Shredder.
Super
Tokar
Shredder,
Razor.
who they? Oh god.
You're right. I'll give you that. Tokar. Yeah.
Tokar Razor. Kevin Nash as Super Shredder. And then, in third place, it's Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go! I made another funny!
God, Super Shredder was such a an impact, even though he only showed up for like the last
He was
3
there for
minutes
like
of the
2
film.
minutes, 3 minutes.
But they made him a
Oh.
recurring boss in every turtle game from there on. Every
Yes.
turtle game.
Super Shredder was literally just the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And it was like, can we talk about this? Can we talk about Bam? I guess we can't talk about this. I've said it before.
Jacked as fuck ninja with blades coming out all over his body. Jesus.
That ooze altered his outfit too, which makes it even better all around.
Yeah. It didn't just alter his DNA and his
mutated
body structure. It mutated his clothes. Shit's powerful.
Oh, we're gonna shit all over my favorite one.
Yes, because it was terrible.
We gave Shredder we gave Splinter some terrible comedic lines, and then we just threw logic out the window with the fucking ooze. But nah, I can't have goddamn
But the
turtles
ooze is
in Japan.
integral. You
The
can't
ooze
have
is
the turtles
integral.
without
Listen.
the ooze.
It's the same shit that blinded Daredevil. All right,
Really?
ooze. Yeah, the ooze that created the turtles is what blinded Daredevil.
Technically, yes, it is.
Yes.
I think
Yes,
I
indeed.
remember reading that shit too. I still don't buy it, but it's a thing that they've decided to go with.
Yeah, literally.
I think
Yep.
it's literally just because there's just barrels of ooze in New York and people just call it a day. Like,
Oh shit! All right, Tony, wrap it up. Bring it up.
don't steal my thunder, sir. Haha, you will. No one else will get that joke but him. Just
That's
saying.
good. Tig. I think Tony's dead. You muted, Tony.
I'm back.
Okay. Go ahead and what was the one thing you were going to say before we wrap it up for the day?
Okay, so the other thing I was going to say, and this one isn't really a movie, but it is a series that I've come to find is very near and dear to me because they took something which was from my childhood and they didn't fuck it up. Thank you.
Totally Spies.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
Shit, dude. You gotta warn me first. Jesus.
Is there a mute
Ah.
function for Token? Excellent. Mute it. Oh, yep. I can
Okay.
mute him. Ha, ha, ha!
Did you?
He's not allowed to talk.
Oh, damn. Putting in the corner.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What is it, Tony? Come on.
Okay, so my my new favorite thing ever is behind Demolition Man is the Netflix adaptation of Castlevania.
Oh,
the
yeah.
animated
Fantastic.
series.
Yep.
Especially when they
You must be a
Avengers
Belmont.
assemble all up in the castle.
Yes.
Holy shit. The animation budget is gone through the roof apparently because the fight sequences are just amazing. And
What-
I cannot wait because their next one they're going to do is Castlevania Bloodlines with Richter Belmont. Let's go.
I need to
Yeah.
finish that actually. I've not finished
So-
the series yet.
My favorite scene in that entire series is when is it Trevor? No,
Mhm.
not Trevor. Yeah, no, it's not Trevor.
It is Trevor.
It is Trevor. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
when Trevor,
yeah.
when Trevor
Remember, Trevor's
rolls
the
up
first
on,
Belmont
yep.
in the
Well,
timeline.
sort of, yeah.
He's,
Where
he's
Trevor
the,
rolls
he's
up.
the first that we take control of in the timeline.
Fair enough. When Trevor rolls up on Dracula and just decks him,
Yes.
and Dracula's like, "Ah, you must be a Belmont."
He doesn't even flinch or move. And he's like,
Boom!
you
Oh,
must be a Belmont. Then he just gut checks.
Yes. Yes. On that note, let's go ahead and wrap this show up.
Jesus.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys all for coming out and watching the stream. We're going to be back next Sunday, probably a little bit earlier, about 2:00 on
Oh.
Sunday. To go ahead and
I won't be here. I will not be
Okay.
here.
Why not?
I will be out of town.
You'll be out of town.
I'll be out of town.
Okay, so I guess we won't be back this Sunday coming up. It'll be the next Sunday then. We'll do another show at 2:00.
You guys get a week off.
Yep, 1 week off. If you guys have not hit the follow button, please hit the follow button. I do stream video games throughout the week. I'm trying to, at least. Work's been crazy, but work is now back under control and stable. So come out and watch something when we play it. And yeah, this has been the 5th episode of 3 Nerds 2.0. I really need to start uploading these on my YouTube channel, but honestly, the last 4 episodes have had audio issues. We'll go with that.
Mic check.
Mike,
Every
check.
episode.
So I might just start with this one. Anybody want to throw a chair in the room and run away before we log off?
I'm just gonna plug myself into the chat.
Ew.
Twitch.tv/meanroomtoken. I will
Go
also be
ahead.
streaming again here very soon.
Yep.
I'm going to be trying to actually do some Cult of the Lamb, so everybody will be able to join the cult, be able to help out. Oh yeah, I picked it up.
I want to see that.
Excited. I am super excited to get started on that game. I actually played around with it a little bit today, and I love the Twitch functionality with it. It lets us actually play with viewers. You all get to create your characters, and your characters become a part of the game. You don't have to own
Nice.
the game to do this. It's integrated into Twitch. You get to make your character right here. It's fucking awesome.
Nice.
Join
That's
the cult.
cool.
Join the
One
cult.
of us. One
One
of
of
us.
us.
One of us. Put that link in there, Bubba.
Working on it. I had to type. I can't type with the crab hands.
Oh, no,
And
not the crab hands.
so yeah, hopefully you guys are there. Tony, what you got?
I don't know. I guess I'll plug my. Should I plug my Twitter page, which is
Obviously,
full
throw
of
it in there.
anime titties?
NSFW 18 plus. Throw it in there.
So go
sure.
to Twitter
Okay,
and type
fine.
in anime titties.
Good.
So
that could be dangerous.
I draw shit. Mostly anime titties abound. And if you're into that sort of thing, come find me on my Twitter page, which I'm going to plug in the chat as soon as I am done with this sentence.
Excellent. You
Shit, I
put a
fucked
space
up
there,
the
Stan.
link.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Good job.
Give me a second. I'll fix it. But keep going.
Anyway, so God, I need something ridiculous to say at the end of this stream. I did it the last. No, Tony did it the last time. Token, you have some. You gotta say something ridiculous to end this stream on. Come on, man. Something outrageous and ridiculous. We've already done the gentrification of redheads in Hollywood, you know?
Why does it say this count doesn't exist? Hold on. Anyway.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I clicked your link. It says this count doesn't exist.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Oh, that's why. Okay, let me because
if
that's
you
why.
are
Nah.
I think the big thing that we need to focus on going into this week is why is Batman such a bitch, and why are your friends wrong about him? If they think that he's not, like, I think
share
that's something
throw.
that we
Here
need
it
to
is.
rectify that. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. Good.
I think you dislike Batman because you're racist.